Hello, everybody. This is the college football picks contest for week 5, I believe it is now. Week 5. So basically, a lot of these are now going to be conference games. Tell you how to break it all down next. Only right here, Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Alright, welcome back to the picks version, everybody. My name's Harry James. Now, as I always say, do not take these picks out to on a Vegas trip and expect money back. I'm not making any promises, but hey, if you do get your money back, I'll take some of that money, baby. Alright, the intro's done, so now let's get this done. Big 12 play. Thursday night football is back in the Big 12 as Texas will be in Ames at Iowa State at 7 o'clock on Thursday on ESPN. I'm going to go with Texas. I think that they're getting a little better each week. Maybe not to the level that they beat my Sooners, but they're getting better each week. I look for them to get better on the road this time in Ames, but closer than the experts think, as Lee Corso would say. Saturday set pieces. There aren't any 11 a.m. kicks, but there's an afternoon and a night kick. The afternoon kick is 2:30 on ESPN2. You'll see Baylor and Kansas State in Manhattan, in the Little Apple. I'm going to go with Kansas State. And then the nightcap on National Fox. Oklahoma State tries to bounce back on the road in hostile territory grounds in Lubbock at Texas Tech. I'm still going to go with Oklahoma State, but a night game in Lubbock, maybe a little closer than the experts think. And by the way, Texas Tech's still the undefeated team left, by the way. Just saying. Of those two teams. That's it for the Big 12 crew. The national crew will begin on Friday. Miami of Florida will be at Duke on ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. 7 o'clock, Nebraska. And we'll be in Champaign. Pour some champagne on them in Illinois, as they are at Illinois on Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with Nebraska. Also, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network will have Brigham Young at Utah State, the Battle of Utahs. I'm going to go with BYU. And the 9:30 broadcast on ESPN, Southern Cal will be at Washington State on ESPN. Give me the Cougaring Pirate, Mike Leach, and Washington State. That's it for the Friday-Saturday games, or the Thursday-Friday games. Now it's time for the Saturday games. The regular football game day. Get your grills going early. ABC will have them ready for you early, by the way. A game ready for you early, by the way. Northwestern will be at Wisconsin and the Badgers on ABC. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. Vandy at Florida on ESPN. I'm going to go with Florida. South Florida at East Carolina on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with USF. South Florida. The University of Houston will be in Pennsylvania against Temple. At Temple, I'm going to go with on ESPNU. I'm going to go with Houston. New Mexico State will be at Arkansas on SEC Network. I'm going to go with Arkansas. And Maryland will be at Minnesota on Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with Minnesota. 2 more local games at the 11 o'clock hour. Rice will be at Pittsburgh on the ACC Network. Rice is kind of a weird-looking option and offense and defense to prepare for. Look for Rice to get this thing done against Pittsburgh. And the final morning kickoff, North Carolina will be at Georgia Tech. That one's on ESPN2. And I'm going to go again with the awkward offense of Georgia Tech. 11:20, North Carolina State will try to keep the train a-rolling since upsetting Florida State last week as they host Syracuse. Syracuse at North Carolina on the ACC network. I'm going to go with North Carolina State. There's no awkward kick times in between, so next kick time is 2:30, and that one will be Indiana at Penn State on the Big Ten Network at 2:30. I'm going to go with Penn State. Georgia at Tennessee on the CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Georgia. Florida State tries to get the train on the right track at Wake Forest on ABC. I'm going to go with Wake. UTEP will be at Army on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Army. Navy will be at Tulsa on the U. I'm going to go with Navy. ESPNU, that is. I'm going to go with Navy. And Buffalo will be at Kent State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Buffalo. 3 o'clock games on the Stadium Network. Texas State will be at Wyoming. I'm going to go with the Cowboys of Wyoming. ESPN News, University of Connecticut will be at Southern Methodist, SMU in Dallas on the ESPN News. I'm going to go with UConn. Arizona State will be at Stanford on the Pac-12 network. I think that in a home game, I think that's going to be just enough for Stanford to hold them off. Eastern Michigan will be at Kentucky on the SEC network. I'm going to go with Kentucky and Mark Stoops. Final game in that 3 o'clock time belt. Iowa will be at Michigan State on Fox. I'm going to go with Spartacus. The Spartacans. There is one 4 o'clock game on NBC as Miami of Ohio will be at the Golden Domers of Notre Dame. I'm going to go with the Irish in this ball game. 5 o'clock, Mississippi State and the Cowbells will be on the road at Auburn at 5 o'clock on ESPN. I'm going to go with the Tigers of Auburn. 6 o'clock, Troy will be at another Tiger from the SEC at LSU on ESPNU. I'm going to go with LSU. Charlotte will be at Florida Atlantic on the beIN Sports Network. I'm going to go with FIU. South Alabama will be at Louisiana Tech on ESPN3. I'm going to go with La Tech. ESPN3 will also have Marshall at Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Ball State at Western Michigan will be on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Western Michigan. And finally on ESPN3, Coastal Carolina will be at Louisiana Monroe. I'm going to go with ULM. On your regular TV sets, CBS Sports Network will have the Air Force Academy at New Mexico. I'm going to go with the Falcons of Air Force with that awkward offense they have working there. And ESPN2 will have Memphis at Central Florida on ESPN2. In a home game, I think Central Florida has just enough to take care of Memphis. 6:30 p.m. Big Ten Network game. The Ohio State University will be at Rutgers on the Big Ten Network. Rutgers doesn't have the powerful offense that Oklahoma has. So I'm going to go with Ohio State. The other game at that time is on the SEC Network, and that will be South Carolina at Texas A&M, the Aggies. And I'm going to go with A&M. Prime time, baby. 7 o'clock. Clemson at Virginia Tech. ABC. Look for our old quarterback at Virginia Tech. He's the head coach there now. Look for him to get the best of Brent Venables on ABC that night. Night game at Virginia Tech. Hokey, 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 high. Good luck in that one, boys. I think you'll get it done. The other game in that time slot, 7 o'clock time, Washington will be at Oregon State on Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with Washington. 8 o'clock, the Ole Miss Mississippi Rebels will be on the road at Alabama on ESPN. Well, can you go against Alabama yet, guys? You might not want to. So I'm going to stick with them. Alabama. 9:30. Northern Illinois, UNI will be at San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with San Diego State. Cal will be at the Ducks of Oregon on Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with the Quack Pack. San Jose State will be at UNLV on ESPNU. I'm going to go with UNLV. And finally, Colorado will be at UCLA on ESPN2. I really like what I saw from these two teams from Colorado last week. They lost in a barn burner to Washington. I think that they have enough to bounce back in California, in the Rose Bowl. I think they're going to do it. Colorado gets UCLA on ESPN2. Final game of the night at 10:59 p.m. Colorado State will be at Hawaii on the Spectrum OC16 network out in Hawaii. I'm going to go with Hawaii. All right, guys. As I said before, don't take any of these picks to Vegas. My name's Harry James. You can find me on Twitter at SoonerFan_OK or find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor. All right, guys. Thanks for watching and enjoy this week of college football. I'm out of here. See ya on the flip side.